On this day, 10 years ago, legendary comedian Andrew J. Philipson released the first episode of a television series that would become his flagship product. The Adventures of Philly was a comedy series that centered on two heroes, Philip J. McKee, better known as Philly, and a talking dog named Toby. Supporting characters included two Globians. Gary was the green athletic Globian with a sweet tooth. Roger was the punctual red Globian who had a knack for engineering. As the show played on, more characters joined the cast. Arthur, a narrator fairy who is on the receiving end of any mishaps. Major Barry, another Globian with a long-winded family history that he loves to talk about. And Sabrina Tibble, a major love interest for Philly, also a human. The moment Sabrina came to Philly's life, there was no turning back. She became the new apple of his eye and love was in the air. The last episode was released on the 29th day of May in the year 2014. After a hard year's worth of effort, the character of Philly got a new lease of life in the series Philly McKee. What? Nobody knows. That's where the official story ends. There isn't any more. Well, if you want more to the story, then you'll have to write it yourself. It's certainly nothing a little R&D can't help. The original Adventures of Philly was first conceived and broadcast in a world not too different from ours. The only difference is that world was computer-generated, a self-contained engine running within the confines of a server. But who created that world? I didn't create it, and neither did our hero. Andrew J. Philipson was a well-known story writer and stand-up comedian, having been in the industry since 2007. It wasn't until 2012 when Philipson began making efforts to adapt his stories and comedies in an animated cartoon form, and thus the world known as Globia was born. The world's native inhabitants were colourful round creatures called Globians. The kingdom of Canada was the first of many different nations to be discovered in this fictional world. After a rocky start in making stop-motion animated comedy sketches featuring himself and a dog named Toby, Philipson enrolled in a computer animation class at my magic school in the constituent country of Pally Island, and began making more complex models in a variety of colours. Meanwhile, Pally Island was needing outside investment. The tourism board believed that a television series made in Pally Island could help boost tourism in the country. They needed a talented showman who could make such a show, and Philipson needed a client. Thus, The Adventures of Philly was born. Philipson recycled the two protagonists of his earlier comedy sketches and rechristened his character as Philip J. McKee, or Philly for short. They were redesigned from the ground up to take advantage of the new CG technology, but that wasn't all. The original opening sequence boasted two additional characters who would eventually become part of the show's brand identity, Gary and Roger. Based on what we could muster from the limited screen time the two characters got, Gary was the athletic guy with a sweet tooth and a goofy personality, while Roger was his more down-to-earth cousin. You'll notice that I'm using the name Philly to refer to the title character of the show and Philipson, its creator. Keep this in mind. The very first episode of this new series was titled Philly Fishes for a Wish, and it came out on the 29th of May 2013. And marked my only appearance on the screen. That's me over there. The show was established to be a mockumentary series in an unnamed town somewhere in England, but The Globian characters were members of a colony of aliens. While humans would be native to the land, Globians would comprise the majority of the town's population and play numerous roles, ranging from postman, doctor, fairground worker, merchant, janitor, police constable, and barkeep. I played the role of the genie. Growing up in the United States of America, Philipson developed an obsession with Britain and chose to set his new series there. He researched what he could about the UK on the internet and designed Pally Island accordingly. If I could boil down what he knew of the UK, major aspects included the use of pounds as a currency instead of dollars, vehicles driving on the left-hand side of the road, and the consumption of tea as a pastime. He even spoke in a fake English accent to go with it. Other subtle details included the consumption of Smarties, a British chocolate candy similar to M&M's. However, as Philipson had not set foot in Britain before and was still living in the States, his knowledge of the UK was relatively limited, and the end result may not have reflected the actual British way of life. One detail that comes to mind is an episode where the characters play snooker, with one of the rules sadly getting butchered in the process. I can only imagine that snooker was not as well known in the US as it was in the UK. Philipson didn't like America all that much and wanted to go somewhere else where he could happily spend his tax monies. His choice of England was based on an underlying sentiment that Britain was far superior to the USA. Whatever grains of truth may have been in it, without actually being in Britain, it all comes off as pretentious and is bound to alienate his would-be audiences. This may have been a major flaw with the original series, but it was not obvious throughout its run, nor was it the reason for its downfall. That is another story. While the film did not receive any awards within a month of release, it became popular enough to not only boost tourism in Pally Island, but also to lead fan letters asking Philipson to make more adventures featuring Philly and Toby. The second episode, released nearly 2 months later, was titled Philly and the Windy Day, and introduced the new characters Arthur, a fairy who narrates the show and is on the receiving end of many mishaps that occur in Pallytown, and Major Barry, an elderly seaman who loved to talk about his family history in a matter not unlike that of Owl in Disney's Winnie the Pooh. These aspects were not explored in depth and seem to have since been abandoned. After 2 more episodes were released, Pally Island became an object of interest for foreign investors. Interest surrounding the series led to the late Tiki Tuku, then Prime Minister of Pally Island, offering to voice the character of Arthur in more episodes. All but one of the characters in the first 4 episodes were voiced by Philipson himself. Other new voice actors were brought in to add greater variety that previous episodes didn't have. Not every foreign businessman came to Pally Island with noble intentions, however. One was a sleazy businessman from another nation, the United States of Medusa, by the name of Aloysius Esmilo, who...
Aloysius.
Wait a minute.
Aloysius. Aloysius.
Aloysius Esmilo sought to open the country's secrets and exploit its riches. His first step was to take the entire town's supply of water and electricity, creating an artificial heat wave that became the focus of Philipson's next episode, Philly Beats the Heat. Noting similarities between Mendoza's society and that of the United States he grew up in, Philipson put a stop to the theft and pillaging.
No wonder why it's so hot today. I'm leaving. Who knew my boyfriend was such a jerk?
This wasn't the first episode to be based on real events. Philly and the Grand Prix was based on an actual bicycle race that Philipson entered and won. The names and appearances of the people involved were altered to protect their anonymity. In this case, the red racer wasn't actually human like Philly, and the flying scooters were actually bicycles with electric assist. The show was initially broadcast on Pally Island TV and released as direct-to-video in mainland Canada. But it wasn't until Philipson's heroic stunt that the show got picked up and aired on television all over Canada. It even got sold to networks in other nations such as Mendoza, and even made an appearance on YouTube. Every new episode thereafter, starting with Philly and the House Invaders, was financed by the Canadian government regardless of how well it would sell. The state sponsorship deal meant that if Philipson could not voice his own character for whatever reason, Tiki Tuku could do it just as well, and vice versa. There was just one issue. If you were to look for the adventures of Philly on the real-world internet, one would have a better luck finding videos about the city of Philadelphia than the character of Philip J. McKee, where when The Adventures of Philip proved to be even more generic, a compromise was made. The Adventures of Philly and Arthur, or simply Philly and Arthur for short. The popularity of The Adventures of Philly went on to translate to the popularity of Philipson himself, with one family trusting him to babysit its 12 children. This became the basis for the plot of Philly and the House Invaders. While Gary and Roger did not reappear in The House Invaders or any ones before it, it was clear that Philipson still had them in mind, as they would appear again in the 7th episode, Philly Fixes a Car. But this would not last long, because...
Hi, Philly, you look so handsome.
Thank you. You look pretty.
Sabrina Tibble was a cosplayer who had previously dated Smilo. After breaking up with Smilo, she began dating Philipson before becoming a guest star in the eponymous episode Philly and Sabrina. He became so smitten with her that they agreed to have her an official member of the cast, and it shows in the episodes that came out for the remainder of 2013, save for the Christmas episode which didn't have her at all. With the new year 2014 came a new phase for the show. Philipson decided to switch from a model with full-on voice acting to one with relatively minimal dialogue and mostly narration, provided by Philipson himself, and just in time for the contract between Philipson and Tiki Tuku to expire. However, as Philipson had done most of the creative working to begin with, Tiki Tuku allowed him to retain full rights to the episodes he did voice work in, and the Canadian government continued to subsidize production. Said phase also coincided with the introduction of Sabrina's sisters Bonnie, Maddie, and Maddie, bringing the total recurring character count to 11. 11? Hold up. We've got Philly and Toby, Gary and Roger, Arthur, Major Barry, and Sabrina. If the three sisters are characters 9 to 11, then where is character 8? Oh, okay, there's no bot. Whoopsie. For the remainder of the show's run, Gary and Roger still made appearances but were nowhere near as prolific as they once were, as Sabrina became Philly's new center of attention. The original show ended on the 29th of May 2014 with the release of a special birthday episode where Philly celebrates his 25th birthday and the show's first anniversary.
This officially marks the first anniversary of Philly and Arthur, not to mention the end of the series itself. Fret not, as there will be a new show in the future. There will be lots and lots of improvements.
But did it come to fruition as promised? Work on a sequel series titled Philly McKee began sometime in the spring of 2014. This series was to eschew all the legacy baggage of the original adventures and focus on the love relationship between Philly and Sabrina, although Toby was not without his own supporting role as well. Incidentally, Sabrina was absent in the first episode. The show also eschewed spoken dialogue, a deliberate measure taken to make the show more watchable around the world. The characters were given notable facelifts, such as the presence of mouths. Other aspects included a full 24 frames per second frame rate and sampled motion blur. Only the first episode got released, and 3 others had finished production before it was cancelled. None of the documentation surrounding this prospective series had survived. Various reasons have been speculated as to how and why it got cancelled, but what we do know is that the Canadian government refused to sponsor this reboot. Philly eventually spent the rest of 2014 and the first half of 2015 putting together a new show independently to no avail. Until... on the 24th of July 2015, Philipson cut a deal with Tiki Tuku to produce Philly McKee at the newly founded state-owned Palitoon Studios. After a year and nearly 3 months of no new content, the successor to the original adventures was finally out the door. Philly McKee became a selling product. Other than the lack of dialogue, radical liberties were taken to the series that made it so different from the original show and the ill-fated Philly McKee that succeeded it. Philly and Co. were given massive facelifts, such as Philly and Sabrina becoming Globians. Barry also got aged down as well. But what was most striking was that Philly and Sabrina became a married couple. While production was relatively slow, Philly McKee did iron out a good number of flaws the original Adventures was plagued with. Critics have praised the series for sticking to a solid foundation and improving the animation. Government officials were impressed enough to fund development once again. With so much critical acclaim and revenues coming from all sides, life was generally good for Andrew J. Philipson. What could possibly go wrong? And thus Philipson got on the flight to Canada, making it the last time he was seen or heard from in the mainstream.
Tiki Took was dead, and Philly is out of Pally Island. We all know what that means.
Right, our days of making minuscule profits are finally over. I just can't wait to sell my cars here in Pally Island. That godforsaken public transport system will soon be history.
And I can't wait to begin selling what can be made in a limited time and budget, yet sell like hotcakes and generate formidable profits. A porn magazine.
The new monthly magazine Brina Baby was first released just as Pally Island had legalized pornography for the first time in 10 years. Aside from the usual sexually explicit imagery and text, there would also be the usual non-erotic fare you'd see in any magazine, such as news articles and interviews. Those in particular would usually be saturated in the November issues, published during No Nut November. During the magazine's first full year, Sabrina would amass a major cult following and become the inherit of Pally Island. As the months passed, Sabrina would use her newfound wealth and influence to undergo plastic surgery, transforming from this to this. It wasn't until 2 months into the magazine's run when Sabrina began appearing on television, showcasing a wider audience with smooth curves and advertising products. You could count with one hand the number of times she appeared on the telly without advertising her magazine.
Looking good so far, Miss Tibble, although that tail seems rather long for a rabbit.
This is not bunny themed, it is all horse, actually. The shoes I am wearing are hooves.
Oh, I see. So anyway, we at Hungwood Labs present to you this brand new invention, instant pool toys.
What do they do?
It's simple. You get yourself a pool of water and put this dry capsule in. In 7 seconds flat it will turn into an inflatable floating animal. Horse, duck, dolphin, plesiosaur, all sorts of forms. Although so far we have only the horse model in demonstration, the toy stays in shape for as long as it is wet, and shrinks back to its original inert size as it dries up. Time and energy are saved. No longer do you have to exhaust your lungs inflating your pool float when the water can already do it for you.
What happens if I ingest it?
Actually
Down
we
the
don't
hatch.
recommend.
Hey, this actually feels sexy already. It gives me an idea for my next photo shoot. These are for sale, right? I will gladly buy one of each different model.
How's it going to get out once you're done with it?
Well, Where there is a will, there is a way, and you can certainly find out how this thing comes out in our next issue of Brinner Baby. For just $9.95 you can get the latest scoop on the life and activities of Sabrina Tibble, that is to say, me. You too can be a person of culture. We accept all major credit cards. Must be 18 years of age or older to read Brinner Baby. Contents are not safe for work.
How did she get that toy out of her stomach? How was it able to expand inside her without tearing her from the inside? It's like she's made out of rubber. Cyrus Binks coined the term the Great Crash to refer to not only the plane crash that killed Tiki Tuku, but also the moral decay that ensued in his absence. For Sarah at least, this was evident with the popularity of the magazine, or at least the absence of coming out quite instantly. Not even Karen Cumberson was shaking her head about it. She did live to the decade-long ban on pornography after all. The many conscientious objection lawsuits Sarah filed against Sabrina would only make her the target of more cyberbullying from Sabrina's publication company, Spire Publishing. Sarah's antipathy towards Sabrina did not start with Brinner Baby. Its origins go as far as her first appearance in The Adventures of Philly. Sarah appeared in the very first episode of Adventures and was said to appear in more episodes. She was the closest the original series had to a female lead, but then Sabrina came along and any prospect of Sarah making another appearance was thrown out the window. My hunch is that even if Sabrina were never introduced in the first place, Sarah would still not make that many appearances. At the time Sabrina was introduced to the original show, the 8th episode was going to be completely different. It was to involve a gravity modifier invention that changes the gravity of an indoor room, and Philly and Gary were going to try it out and goof off with it. Similarly, episode 9 was going to have Philly and Major Barry go hiking up a snowy mountain and meet a Yeti. Episode 10 was largely unchanged barring the artificial inclusion of Sabrina. Sarah was altogether convinced that Sabrina's entry into the original series had sullied its quality and caused it to jump the shark. While she acknowledged Philly McKee for its far superior character design and animation, she found the overall series to be nowhere near as inspiring as the original show it was supposedly based on. She noted the marriage between Philly and Sabrina, the decreasing role of Toby as Philly's sidekick, and the complete absence of Gary and Roger. Episode 3, with its complete absence of Toby, cemented her view that the magic that made the original Adventures great had been lost entirely. Sarah could not understand. How could a talented animator like Andrew J. Philipson make a series with so much potential in it and then throw it away in favor of an uninspiring sequel? What was Philipson thinking?
Why is it so hot out? And why is my power out? I've paid my bills alright.
It definitely can't be global warming. Many of the cars now are electric and use solar panels.
And the power companies?
They use a solar and wind power. They don't burn coal anymore.
And what about the factories?
They use solar power and wind power as well.
Well, that certainly did not age well, and neither did the visuals. Looking at the original Adventures of Philly, the production values in general were not all that great. So why was Sarah so fond of it? It was not just a family-friendly animated series, but also one that dated back to a time when pornography was illegal in Pali Island. Before Tiki Tuku's unceremonious passing in 2017, Pali Island managed to score good marks as a tourist destination suitable for children and families. Tiki Tuku was a firm believer in Christian values and opposed pornography in every way, shape and form. Karen Cumberson changed all that. She not only legalized porn, but she also began a smear campaign against Tiki Tuku and his administration, arguing that he was bringing the country to hell with his socialist policies. In an era of smartphones and shorter attention spans, and having been indoctrinated into the worldview that socialism is evil, the vast majority of Pali Islanders ended up forgetting about Tiki Tuku, especially his ban on pornography. Andrew J. Philipson was also a believer in family friendliness and known to oppose pornography as well. The relocation of studio personnel to the mainland, coinciding with the legalization of pornography, was the last time Philipson was ever seen or heard from in Pally Island. The lack of updates surrounding him since have led to most Pally Islanders forgetting about him completely. His departure from Pally Island coincided with the sudden legalization of porn and the launch of Brina Baby. Sarah was increasingly convinced that it was not a coincidence. Clearly somebody was planning to rid Pally Island of its moral guardian. Upon learning of this correlation, Sarah posited that if Philipson was brought back to Pally Island in some way, it would bring Pally Island back on the map and provoke serious thought into how and why Tiki Tuku got killed and who did it. So she shot Philipson a letter asking him to return to Pally Island and make everything right again. Unfortunately, she never heard back from him, nor did he arrive on Pally Island shores in time for his original show's 5th anniversary. With no way of knowing Philipson's stand on the issue, Sarah decided to stick a fork in it and call it quits. Sabrina's porno mag, okay, but what about the socio-economic decay in Pally Island? Did he know about that? I don't know, spur a reboot of the original show?
To me, and so do the copyrights for your friends here. Surrender the rights to me, and I will let you live. You want fun? I will show you fun. You, Philly, belong to me, and so do the copyrights for your friends here.
Philly, do copy Philly. Damn it, Philly, you idiot, you do it all. You're on your own now. You're the only one capable of subverting Sabrina's smart domination agenda. Remember her magic words. Imperium Sabrina Tibble. Uncertain of how Philipson responded to her original letter, assuming he read it at all, Sarah decided to travel to the mainland and tell Philipson directly what was going on.
Welcome to You Don't Know Knack, your host Paul Jackson here, ready to present to you tonight's show, and with a very special guest, someone who has made smile the hearts of men of culture nationwide, presenting Sabrina Tibble, the woman of culture. Congratulations on your 5th anniversary, and looking good, too. You're quite the party animal tonight, emphasis on animal. I say, are you currently wearing anything below the waist?
No, I am not wearing pants at all. Aside from the hat and earrings, all I have is my boob tube. I am actually naked everywhere else.
Yes, so, how exactly does this new technology work?
It is a special new suit that fuses together with the inner workings of my body, the skeletal system, the nervous system, the digestive system, especially the reproductive system. Apart from the new tail, having to adjust to a 4-leg gait is a hassle, but, yes, the freedom of not wearing trousers.
All right, I think we've heard enough. So then, how has your modeling career been for you?
It has been paying off ever since I became a model 5 years ago, but trousers and underwear have long been a constant bitch to put on and take off. Putting on trousers, taking off trousers, putting on lingerie, taking off lingerie. I even requested doing some nude shots, but the censors back in the day just would not allow it. That is the reason why I hired Hengwood Labs to research and develop a way for me to decently model or naturel without indecent exposure. Enter the centaur booty.
Yes, the question many have been asking is, how did you attain the level of success that you did? I seem to remember that in 2013 most people didn't know who you were. We have yet to hear a good answer to that question.
Oh, how rude of me. I almost forgot to discuss my next issue of Brina Baby, which will have a very fishy surprise for all my loyal followers. Notwithstanding the inability to walk on land, just think of all the benefits of being a mermaid. No pants, no periods, no shoes, and everyone gets to admire those smooth curves. And shiny, too. In the meantime, you can get a taste of my mouth-watering, boner-inducing beauty for just under 4 guineas. You can get the latest scoop on the life and activities of Sabrina Tibble, that is to say, me. You too can be a person of culture. We accept all major credit cards. Must be 18 years of age or older to read Brina Baby. Contents are not safe for work.
Sabrina, pornography, in Pally Island? Well, I never. We must inform her ladyship at once.
I am loving this cloud-themed lingerie already. It feels so light, it is as if I am not wearing anything at all. Ooh, wardrobe malfunction.
Cut, and that's a wrap.
Alright, once you get the censored footage submitted for the advert, save the raw uncensored version as a bonus feature for the next issue's pack and DVD.
You got it. Your Highness, the carbon-based life form commonly known as Philly is revolting.
Why, yes, such an inferior creature with slipshod genetic makeup.
I do not disagree, but you misunderstand. The carbon-based life form is staging a revolt. It is rebelling.
What do you mean?
It has been informed by another carbon-based life form commonly known as Sarah that you are making pornography of yourself.
What? No, he is supposed to be working at his post. Lady Cavendish, sent him away. Crikey, that bitchy Ginger has been testing my patience.
My word, Your Highness. I did not know that you were a doctor.
Bollocks, where the hell are he and the Ginger going?
Sweet cheese and crackers. How did I not suffer from permanent brain damage back there?
Ah yes, long time no see. Is the Turok in your pocket, or are you excited to see me?
I've got nothing to be excited about at all, and my pockets are completely empty. And this splitting headache I've got right now. Is this your house? How did I get here? Last thing I remember is I walked into the Gnoko headquarters building and everything went black after... What did you do to me?
Oh yes, I hired a few of my drones to knock you out cold and bring you here. What reason would I have for it, you may ask? So, I hear you want to have Philly McKee cancelled. What is this all about?
Where did you hear that?
Did you honestly not think that your room was being wiretapped? Did you think that this gem would go unnoticed?
Wiretapping? You spied on me the whole time? Does Lady Cavendish know this? How did she give you, of all people, the permission to do that?
Simple. Prudence Cavendish is really me. After Tiki Tukui passed away, I was given control of the Palitoon studio by Karen Cumberson for less than $1 worth, moved you to the mainland and recruited the remainder of the staff into my Hangwood Lads moniker. They have been working on all those costumes you see in my magazine, such as this brand new bunny-like half-centaur creature booty for which I have yet to coin a name. I can lay Easter eggs with this as well. Want to see?
No, I do not. I'm not here for you to moon me, and I can't believe you would lie to me like that. Once I get out of here, I'm telling the Canadian government about this.
Fat chance. They are too distracted by Lady Cavendish's stiff upper lip to even care. Their attention spans are too short to even realize what is going on. They do not even realize the dangers of pornography. Well, except for one household. I can still remember that look on your face when you thought I was human. Truth is, I am a virus created by the English MI6 to take over Globia and turn it into our Bitcoin mining rig. This pawn business of mine is part and parcel of our master plan. The internet was designed for it after all, and so I just had to cash in. But no, said Tiki Tuku. He was like, it's dangerous, it's immoral, I strictly forbid it. So I had a fellow CIA virus help out here. Allow me to reintroduce my Gubby.
Gubby?
At last, we meet again. Now you had better f***ing listen up, because I am f***ing tired of saying the same f***ing story for the umpteenth f***ing time. Karen Cumberson is really me. I was the one who planted a bomb in Tiki Tuku's self-flying plane so I could kill him for his adherence to the environmentally friendly streetcar system, and to give Sabrina the legal means to sell porn. We make a lovely pair, don't we?
I see that the Anglo-American military-industrial complex has taught you too well.
I wasn't taught jack shit. It's in my programming. What else do you expect from a CIA agent? What do we do with this thing? Smash it? Crash it? Burn it?
No, and no. I know of a way he could be useful.
Damn
Since
it.
it was you who put me on the road to stardom and gave it to me on a silver platter, we have to be generous here. After all, you were this clueless American Anglophile who had no idea what the British Weights and Measures Association even was. You may now know the truth, but the seeds of perdition have already been sown. Philly McKee has become quite the convenient distraction for the Pali Islander masses and a constant source of revenue from the Canadian government. What a shame. If only you were there for Tiki Tuku instead of partying that one night, maybe he would not have died. And once everything goes tits up, everybody will not hate us, they will hate you for failing to stop us.
When they last met, Philipson told Sarah that he would respond to her text message and keep her updated on the state of his relations with Sabrina and Philly McKee. Sadly, she never heard back from him. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. With absolutely no feedback from Philipson, Sarah was left despondent and could do nothing to resolve the situation. At this stage, she was sure that she would never see Philly now. Never see Philly now. See Philly now. See Philly now. Philly now. Philly now. Philly now. Philly now. Philly, 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 Philly.
I'm betting on the letter B.
Mother, that's not a B, that's an 8.
Really no. 8 starts with a V. Fascinating. Is it a silent letter, like the H in Anna?
Mother, stop it already.
I am with you on that. Wonderful. Frogs are disgusting creatures. They do not bathe. They drive on the wrong side of the road, and they surrender at the drop of a hat. They are rude, arrogant, and ungrateful gods been liberators. Delusions of grandeur galore, and that throat condition they call a language. It is no wonder English is taught as a mandatory school subject there and not the other way around. Worst of all, they force their blood-soaked metric measures down our throats. But I must say that they are not all that bad. I have eaten 1 or 2 of them. Their legs were mighty tasty, I must say. Well worth the violation of kosher dietary law.
Philly is also of Irish descent as well, isn't he?
Yes, and all the more reason we are glad to have him off the throne. He is a relic.
Sorry for glitching back there, it happens when I get emotional. Now where was I? Sarah didn't like how women got mere slaps on the wrist for serious crimes while men got the book thrown on them for far less. She didn't want to share a restroom with a person of the opposite biological sex, and she didn't understand how one couldn't spell sorter without laughter. She became increasingly convinced that Macanadian society, including Pally Island, was rotten from within and that Tiki Tuku's premiership was an aberration. It was at that point when Sarah formulated a plan to break Philipson out of prison and flee to another country, never to return to Pally Island.
Warning. Heterosexual
Ah yes,
activity
comfy
detected.
pillows,
I repeat,
made from the blood of
heterosexual
Palestinian children no
activity
less. No ossifer, I swear, we were just trying to civilize them, and that red-haired sprat is here, and she is taking Philly with her. I must inform Gubby.
I wrote this meme myself. It took a month for me to get the details right, so I hope you like it. So then, what do you think? So much for freedom of speech. Look at the bright side. Now you have just enough time to formulate a better joke until you get released.
Hello, what do you want now, Smolo? Gasp, good God, cancelled. No more money.
It's been a whole year since episode 27 of Philly McKee, and episode 28 is still not ready. With interest in the show at an all-time low, Philly McKee will be cancelled and we will never see another penny of the government's subsidy money.
Quit talking bollocks at once, Smolo. Can't you, scheme something? Clearly our world-renowned manipulation of facts could be put to use here. You especially as an American are no stranger to manufactured consent.
Well, thank you, Sabrina. Now even if we do manage to catch the little dipshit in the act, there's a chance that he'll have spilled the beans on why he ran away.
Who's Prime Minister Carthy going to believe? A primitive race of humorless queue-jumping Neanderthals, or us, the winners of both World Wars and one World Cup?
Well, do something already. If you're that certain that Philly is still alive, then get off your fat ass and find him. Actually no, don't get off your fat ass just yet. We have over 900 military bases in over 80 countries worldwide. Call their embassies and ask if they see any sign of Philly. Bribe them if you will. Threaten anyone who refuses to comply with sanctions or regime change. Or better yet, do the sanctions and regime change anyway, with extra napalm and Agent Orange. If you must, enlist the International Court of Justice even if you're not a signatory. Whatever it takes, I shall have Philly back right away. I've got a better idea. Why not ditch Philly McKee altogether and create a new show from scratch?
What the hell do you mean?
Goes like this. Philly McKee was until recently a television show that people of all ages, children especially, would happily watch, and the government liked it well enough to support it. Now it's not being made anymore. Imagine having control of your own, created by you and animated by a happily compliant team.
Do you have a particular genre in mind?
I was thinking of a superhero series, something that involves one of your costumes, but extra care will be taken such that nobody suspects Sabrina Tibble is involved.
A superhero series? Ah yes, I love it when you talk like that.
He'll still be on the lookout for Philly anyway. And that red-haired fangirl of his, Carthy must not find out. With those military bases of ours, there's no way those two troublesome tankies will get past the radar.
This is a waste of time. All we've done so far is one complete episode, and its production values were no better than what we had last year. And what has the rest of the summer been spent on? Why, remodeling the entire city the show is set in.
And we still don't have any roles to play besides background extras. What gives, Philly?
Well, I thought I could cash in on the fantasy world setting. I must honestly say, Sabrina the Teenage Witch has inspired me to do an alternate world inhabited by fairies like Arthur.
That's the issue. We're being replaced with Sabrina and the fairies. You've been obsessed with Sabrina ever since she came here.
This fairy world concept isn't going to work. Putting this amount of fictional lore on a no-dialogue show will be a recipe for disaster. How are people going to know how this fairy world works if the show itself won't explain it to them, be it written or oral?
And the scripts for these new episodes, they've been written into a language you don't even speak, and the quality of these translations is dubious. It even says it was done with Google Translate.
Look at the graphics for this thing. Everything here is shiny, including the hair and grass. Why does everything have to be so smooth? It looks artificial. Heck, even CGI itself is artificial, as if those horses in that pilot episode did not look ugly enough already.
This isn't the same show we gleefully devoted ourselves to 1.5 years ago. Proverbially, we've taken the wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Well, I thought it was a good idea, so I thought we'd go along with it. We are not forced to be all part of this.
You hear that? We can quit this soppy show at will.
Let's go. This is going nowhere. I quit.
Bye guys. If you change your minds, feel free to come back anytime. Now then, as far as all the problems they described, I think I know what to do to fix it.
The familiar faces were the 3 racers who competed with Philly in the Grand Prix episode. The Red Racer was released from prison a year after his jail sentence and made amends with the other 2 racers before leaving Pally Island together in 2016. Upon settling in the town of Humildad, the team founded the Hacky Shack and, with my instruction and assistance, made a living animating television commercials. The development of a television series was a major step of no return for the trio. After reuniting with this motorcycle gang for the first time in 8 years, our heroes spent their first 4 months in San Desperados, adjusting to the new environment and studying its laws. While porn was legal in San Desperados, Sabrina Baby was banned and Sabrina was declared persona non grata. After being granted amnesty by President Gonzalez in January 2022, our heroes began work on the next generation of Philly. The protagonists of Philipson's new dialogue-free show were a mild-mannered yellow globier named Andre and a childlike anthropomorphic pink bear named Naomi. Supporting characters would include a tomboyish, sweet-toothed police officer named Karina, an industrious inventor come collar hammer named Robert, and an elderly sailor named Boris. The goal of Andre and Naomi was to resurrect the spirit of the first 7 episodes of The Adventures of Philly, while balancing the gender ratio and ironing out a number of other flaws the original show has played with. Gary and Roger in particular could finally be given a new lease of life as Robert respectively, as no equivalent was made for Sabrina. Nor was an equivalent made for Arthur, understandably because he wasn't needed anymore. The first installment was a pilot film called The End of Philly McKee, which serves as an origin story for the characters and setting. After Philly McKee is cancelled, animator Andre D'Amelio leaves the United States, looks for work in an unnamed country where the show happened to be popular, and moves in with Naomi Bell, one of his biggest fans. When news breaks out that Philly McKee is being replaced, Andre picks up the pencil once again to make a show centering on himself and Naomi. Meanwhile, Blythe Rambling, the monopolistic owner of the Philly McKee IP, sees the young animator's prowess as a threat to her dominance and hires two agents, one from the CIA and the other from the MI6, to track him down and sabotage his efforts. The film was in development just as Radio y Televisión de San Desperados was considering dropping Philly McKee from its children's programming lineup. When finished clips of the film were shown to executives on the 8th of August 2022, they were impressed enough to fund the film and the then upcoming series. The End of Philly McKee was broadcast on RTSD on the 26th of December 2022, just after Christmas. You can find it on Bilibili as well. The film received mixed to positive reception. Its release was significant in that it demonstrated Philipson's ability to ship the long-awaited successor series to The Adventures of Philly, following the failure of Philly McKee. It was also Philipson's very first hour-long feature film. Distribution of the film was free, so viewers were permitted to send recordings of the film to their relatives in other countries, especially Pally Island. With a copy of Philipson's new production in their hands, viewers across Pally Island were finally aware of what happened to Philly. It would not be long before the film would reach Canadian shores, just in time for Sabrina, in her Prudence Cavendish disguise, to submit her new superhero series to Canadian Prime Minister Cup of Tea Coffee for subsidies.
No, curse you Andrew J. Philipson. That's it. I'll move to Indonesia, which has no antitrust laws whatsoever.
Sabrina Tibble was given a life sentence for authorizing the murder of an elected official, sock puppeting, and acquiring public property through unethical means. Karen Cumberson was found out to be Aloysius S. Meyer and given a life sentence for murder, sock puppeting, and embezzlement of taxes. Following the shutdown of Penguin Labs, Brina Baby was cancelled after the January 2023 issue and Rocketino was scrapped after the pilot. For the remainder of their subscription period, subscribers to Brina Baby were given regular magazines featuring normal women and sometimes men in normal swimsuits. Notwithstanding the occasional computer graphics gimmick, at least it's not pornographic, that's a start. With Karen Cumberson no longer in office, a proper funeral for Tiki Tuku was held afterwards. By the time a new Prime Minister was elected to replace Cumberson, most people already began to leave Pally Island for other countries, particularly San Desperados, in droves. The town of Reappearance became the new popular destination as Philipson had installed his new creative headquarters there. In fact, largely thanks to the end of Philly McKee, tourism and foreign investment in San Desperados managed to increase tenfold compared to the previous year. The Gnoco Corporation was forcibly shut down and all the IPs they owned were repatriated to their previous owners. Despite having received back the rights to The Adventures of Philly and Philly McKee, Philipson had no intention of releasing the reboot of the former. He was convinced that Andre and Naomi was the future. Philipson still fondly remembers Tiki Tuku as a nice guy to work with, and is still sad that he ended up dying. Then again, if he didn't die, Andre and Naomi wouldn't have come to existence in the first place, and we'd still be ignorant of what a monster Sabrina truly was. We just hope at this point that Tiki Tuku is up there in heaven looking at his disciple with pride and joy. The end of Philly McKee may have received good reviews, but Philipson still felt that it didn't do the new engine justice. The pilot was supposed to be more than just a polemic against the CIA and MI6. It was mainly designed to demonstrate to early adopters and business owners the capabilities of the new engine. Then again, the end of the film did tease the first episode to be released in 4 months' time, reassuring audiences that a next-generation Philly would actually come to fruition. So to fulfill that promise, Philipson went and made what he would proudly call Episode 1 of Andre and Naomi. The first film of this new series was released on the 7th of May 2023, just 22 days before the 10th anniversary of the original Adventures of Philly. It's available on Bilibili and Vimeo if you're interested. It is hard to tell what the future holds for Andre and Naomi, but what we can be certain is after years of trial and error, Philipson will do the show right this time. To paraphrase the words of Vladimir Putin, whoever does not miss the Soviet Union has no heart, but whoever wants it back has no brain. One could say the same about the year 2013. It was a happier, more innocent time when things were not so chaotic as they are today, such as the present conflict in Ukraine. But so much has occurred since that it would be impossible to turn the clock back. And after everything Philipson had learned over the decade, he would rather live in the present. All in all, we hope you've had a lovely 10th anniversary celebration and wish you a safe and happy 2023. This is the Genie signing out. Now we just have to worry about the nuclear waste being dumped in the Pacific.